Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be making the pyramid bag inspired by the Great Pyramid of Giza. And this one is dedicated to Alexia as she celebrates her 4th birthday. So let's get right into it. So first, center the main interfacing on the wrong side of one of the main panels and fuse to glue it in place. Now hold one main lining wrong sides together with the panel from that you're working with and then glue them in place as well. Now use the pattern piece A to punch the belt hole on the main panel. Now we're going to sew the cuff of the main panel only where the belt hole starts and stops with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And then we'll repeat this for the 3 remaining main panels and interfacings. So to the next step, we're going to center the base interfacing on the wrong side of the base panel and then fuse or glue them in place. And then we're going to use glue or double-sided tape. I'm using glue in this example to fold the edge of the base panel on the interfacing so that the interfacing is in the seam allowance. So the interfacing is in the seam allowance, right? And then we're going to cut the edges that pokes up away. Now, install the purse fit on the base panel at 1 inch in from the edges. Now, take the one of the main panel and draw a line 3/8 inch on the bottom edge. Repeat this for the other main panels. Now we're going to set one edge of the base panel on the line that you just drew on the main panel. We're going to center it and then glue it in place. Now we'll repeat this for the remaining 3 edges of the base panel and the remaining 3 main panels. So that it now looks like this. Then we're going to fold up the overlapping edges of the main panel so that one is facing right sides together with another, right? So we then cut the bits that pokes up. So we're going to cut them together like this so that everything is still smooth and matching. This is the reason why we need to use a non-frame material for this pattern. Now, so that it looks like this. And then we're going to center the base lining wrong sides together, right? Wrong sides together on the wrong side of the base panel, and then we'll glue it in place. Now we'll sew here, right? From the right side of the base panel. Sew at the edge of the base panel with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. So the connector panel is supposed to be cut on fold, but I'm not cutting this on fold because it is thick. So we're going to proceed to the next point where we use the pattern PC to punch the belt hole on the connector panel. And then we'll repeat the same thing for the other 4. So we're supposed to sew that top edge if we had folded it, but we have not folded it. I mean, we have not even cut it on fold. So we're going to hold one edge of the connector panel to one edge of the main panel on the wrong side and then clip it in place. We're going to sew with 1 4-inch seam allowance. So repeat the same step for the other side of the same connector panel. And then we'll repeat the same step for the 3 remaining connector panels and the main panels. Alright, so once we are done, we're going to trim down the 1 4-inch seam allowance to 1 8-inch seam allowance. And then we'll move to the handle panel. So lay the handle panel wrong side up and then use double-sided tape or glue to hold the handle interfacing centered on it. Now lay the handle interfacing on the handle rectangle, wrong sides together and center, right? And then sew around the handle panel with a 1/8-inch seam allowance. So once that is done, we're going to trim off the excess handle rectangle. Optionally, after trimming off, you can use edge coats to give the edges a professional look. And that was what I did with this one. Because I don't, so not like I have anything against raw edges, right? But I just wanted it to have that really nice and clean look. So I just use edge coat to paint the edges. And then I also edge painted the main bag itself. So to place the handle panel on the main panel now, we're going to punch 1 inch from the top edge and then use river to hold it in place as I am doing right now. So it's going to be on 2 of the main panels, not all of the main panel, of course. And then we'll move to the belt panel. So we're going to hold the belt panel wrong sides together on the long edges and then clip it in place. So I'm using glue to hold it together. That's why I don't necessarily need the clip, but I can still use clip to hold it, right? So we're going to sew this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So we're using 1/4 inch because we want the belt to be very tiny so it can easily go through the hole, the belt hole on the bag. And then we'll trim down that seam allowance to 1/8 inch seam allowance. And now we're going to thread the belt through the hole as I am doing right now. And so once we're done with that, we're going to take the belt stopper and draw a line 1.5 inch from one short edge, and then we're going to fold the larger portion to meet the line and then clip it in place. Now we'll draw another line 1/2 inch from the short edge that was folded, and then we're going to fold the raw edge to meet that line and then clip in place. So that it form a loop, right? It's going to form a loop, 2 loops, right? And then we're going to sew a box stitch on the center so that it's holding those short edges in place. Now this is very tiny. It might be a little challenging to sew, but it is totally doable. So this is what it looks like. It's giving us that loop that the belt can go through to secure the belt in place. So we're going to insert the belt holder onto the belt as shown here. So you can see it's tight, right? It should be tight like that so that it can hold the belt in place. So we're done with the bag, and thank you for watching. Bye.